Good morning, the 7th of April 2024, a short video here. Someone suggested me updating on various things happening, people that we know, and I want to preface that the Irish Criminal Justice Act, I think it's 61, makes it an offence to publish details about a coming trial. If a person commits, if I say Joe Soap broke into a house and stole €1,000, and the police arrest him, I can report that he's arrested. If he's not arrested and I come along and publish to say he did it, he can sue me and I have to prove that he did it, or else that pay him plenty of money. Do you understand? Once he's arrested and brought before the courts, then you can publish the details that's in the public domain, but you can't publish anything about the substance of the trial. You can say he was charged with this, that and the other. Now, the big news recently was Jeffrey Donaldson of the Democratic Unionist Party, and the Bowl Jeffrey, he was arrested for historic offences, I think maybe of a sexual nature. But the point is, it is a shock to think of that, but he is innocent till he's proven guilty, and he has said he will contest the charges. And I'm merely bringing it to your attention as a piece of news you probably already know, and I'm giving you the law relating to it. He may be innocent. Now, I want to talk about that a bit, because William Roach, who used to play Ken Barrow, went through a lengthy trial in England and he pleaded his innocence. And you know something? I think he was innocent and he was acquitted. So it doesn't mean because you're charged that you're guilty. And Cliff Richard was set upon by the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, and they had cameras there, and the police searched his home, and they had helicopters going around and everything, and really tried to do him down. And when he was proven that there was nothing to it, he sued them and he cleaned them out. So we have to be very careful. This thing about sexual offences and all that, that's why it's so important to have a good, able, competent police force to do the best by both sides. And I'm afraid there's some police who believe the child always, or believe the youngster, or believe the injured party. Others believe the other party didn't do it. And then there's the good ones who take both sides and investigate it in accordance with the evidence. See that? So that's the thing. But anyway, that's put forward. The Donaldson case is put back to the 24th of April this year, and I'm merely bringing it to your attention. It has caused him to step down, so it is news as the leader of the DUP and as the Deputy Prime Minister of the First Minister of the Stormont Assembly. We'll see how that goes. Enough said. Now, the next thing is a Cavan councillor. He's Sean McKiernan. He was a councillor back a few years ago. He lost his seat. When he was going for election, he talked an awful lot about mental health issues and all of that. And while that has a say in politics, I believe a good political party should have a little bit of people who know about that, but it also needs people who know about how to promote industry, how to deal with energy, how to generate electricity, how to provide for all of the other things, how to provide for industry, how to manage the roads and all of that. You can't have a political party with nothing, only people who want to promote mental health and who want to prevent suicide, which no one has succeeded in doing yet. I call that the bleeding heart crowd, but that's what he wanted to do. Fair play. I thought it was too narrow. In any event, he lost his seat, but he was working apparently for a crowd up in Meath to do with mental health. And I think I would say he had an interest in that. But he has been arrested and charged with taking €172,000 from this mental health people, who I would say receive state aid and all of that, and they probably do a lot of good, and he's charged with that. Now again, he's only charged, so there will be more. It's adjourned, and I'll keep you updated on that. He mightn't have done anything wrong, and I have to be very, very careful not to get involved. There could be a jury involved, there'll be judges on it, and I want to let me tell them what to do. I'm making nothing about it, except that that's the case. Now, his address in the Irish Times is given as Virginia Road, Cavan. There's no place as Virginia Road, Cavan. There's the Dublin Road in Cavan. The address is Virginia Road, Bailieborough, County Cavan. Enough said there. Now, the other one then is Josepha Madigan, and the ditch, it's a kind of a bit like Gript, has come out and checked her expenses claims, and has made the point that she claimed expenses in August when she wouldn't normally be active politically and when there wouldn't be much on, and other similar people who were she was a TD and a minister for Fine Gael, and now they're saying that there's something irregular about her claims. So that's something else. Now she has now notified them she's not running for the Dáil again, and of course there's a mass exodus of Fine Gael now. I'm talking about Fine Gael. If I said Sinn Féin, Fine Gael, mass exodus of Fine Gael TDs. So she's not running again, and they tried to shoehorn her in or parachute her into Dublin as an MEP candidate, and that's gone by the wayside. The local party blocked her there as well. That's enough said there. She hasn't been charged with anything, and I don't know what's true. It's just this is made like that. All political candidates and all office holders are suspicious. But the one thing I will make about this is, I did a public collection for a court case in Europe where there was a good lot of money involved. I opened a bank account, and one of the things about my administration of it is that I welcome anybody, any journalist, anybody, to come to the bank, get into the account and view it in the presence of a bank official and see every payment made and every contribution received and the current balances and where the money is going. The only thing that goes without except the cause is the bank fees, and I'm proud of that. I don't know why so many organisations don't publish that. North-South Interconnector Group, NEP, said that the reason was that if they published their finances and there was a court case, the court could award costs against them. I don't buy that, because the laws they'd be using under are protected by a protective cost order. But anyway, I'm just making the point. I would not have any of that messing. You know exactly where you stood with me, and anyone that was genuine would be able to see the accounts. Isn't it something now that anyone can walk in off the street and come in with me to the bank and get a look at that account? That shows you how it should be done. In any event, there's three people now I mentioned there, and one of the things about politicians who claim too much or don't do honest claiming, the guards will not investigate. I can tell you there has been several complaints made. There has been an RTE programme showing, RTE if you don't mind, showing how county councillors have been ripping off the system, and the guards were complained to and they just ignored it. The guards will not investigate any allegation of wrongdoing by politicians in the Republic of Ireland. I don't know how it is in Northern Ireland. I mean, it's well known that county councils were allowing developers get away from the fees. In other words, if you get a developer and he's building 15 houses, he's supposed to make a contribution to the county council for their water and sewage and all that, and they weren't enforcing it. And if you look at the recent refusal of the Cool Wind farm, they have to pay 19,000 towards Portplanola. So you have Portplanola insisting to pay their dues, and you have the local councils not doing it. A lot of councils are refusing to collect the money from developers that they should be, and nothing is done about that either. Remember a couple of years ago, there was something in Ballyjames-Duff where some money was being claimed for work never done. In other words, the council was paying for the contractors for doing work that never was done. I heard nothing more about that either. Imagine what must be going on all over the country. Sorry, I might have put that a bit wrong. The council were claiming for work of the government that was never done, and they were keeping the money themselves. In other words, they were saying to the government, we after doing £2 million scheme there in Virginia or Finney or someplace, and they got the 2 million down, but there was no work ever done. The contractor never actually did it. There was no contractor employed. That was in the news. It seemed to have died a death. If anyone knows about it, go ahead. I'm not making any allegation, but there was something strange there. So there's strange things going on. If it was really rooted at, I don't know where we would ever stop. Now I want to finish off to make it clear and bring to viewers' attention the incident regarding Jeffrey Donaldson because of his status and because of the implications it has for the peace process and all that. I think nearly every right-thinking person wants that assembly to work up there, and thankfully they have got a way around it by appointing a Gavin something, who's taken up that post. So that's good. And the next thing then is Sean McKiernan and 172,000 charges there, all before the courts. And then Josepha Madigan, there's accusations there, but that's all they are. We don't know. They say they got freedom of information. Sure, unless it's investigated, we never know. But it's very important that these things are investigated like that. And I do point out that in the case of Cliff Richard and in the case of Ken Barlow, William Roach, that they were acquitted, and I believe rightly so. I believe that was scandalous what happens there. So it's important to have good police investigating competency, and I worry, is that going to be available in the years ahead, and is it even available now? So folks, that's it. You're innocently proved guilty. I'm not saying anyone's, I'm just bringing it to your attention that this is what's happening so that you can discuss it underneath. And if anyone breaks the law on sub judice, that's known as sub justice or sub judice, or points out to the guilt of these persons, I don't mind if you say they're innocent so much, but if they're guilty, I will immediately delete. I'll not tolerate any breaches of the law on this, and that's the way it is, whether people like it or not. Good or bad, we're not going to try anyone here. That's what the courts are for, and let them do their work in due course. And it's always a problem with incidents. Like I said, there's a big incident or a crash or something. You are prohibited from saying certain things because it's under investigation. Once it's been investigated properly in due course, the truth comes out. But we should learn from those mistakes, and that's one of the big problems I don't see happening. Bye, good luck.